Hello, my name is Frank. I am going to be your conversation and listening teacher this year at Baduk High School. This week we will start our first online class using the textbook from grade 1. The first lesson is called The Part You Play. Each week we will use the listen and speak part of the chapter, and I will introduce words and expressions from the listen and speak part of your chapter, and we'll look at examples of how these expressions are used. And then you will probably have to do some activity or some kind of worksheet at the end of the lesson and then turn that into me. It might be an audio recording, it might be a handout that you have to complete. I will give you instructions each week about the type of work that you will be doing and that you will be submitting. But for today, let's begin with the first expression. And the first from the listen and speak part of the chapter is, I am going to. I am going to is an expression used to describe plans that you will be doing in the future and which are fairly sure to happen. The Korean part of the slide explains that I am going to is used for plans that are fairly sure to happen. And there are some examples at the bottom of the first slide. I am going to the academy after school today. I am going to visit Jeju Island this summer with my family. These examples are fairly certain or fairly sure to take place, and we can use a phrase like I am going to talk about a situation like this. So that is the first expression, I am going to describe future plans that you are fairly sure will happen. Now we'll go to the next expression is not in your textbook, and that's why there's a red number 1 at the top of the slide. But I am planning to is an expression that is similar to I am going to. And it's also used to describe plans in the future that are fairly sure to happen. And again, you have the Korean phrase there to help you to understand that it is fairly sure to happen. And this kind of expression can be used at the beginning of a sentence for a situation like this. We have 2 examples at the bottom of the page. I am planning to go to the PC room to study tonight. I am planning to go hiking this weekend with my friend. Again, these plans are fairly sure to happen, and you can use an expression like I am planning to do something soon in the future. This kind of situation is similar to I am going to. Let's now go to the third expression that I want to introduce. This one also is not in your textbook, and there's another 1 at the top of the page. This one is a little bit different from I am going to or I am planning to. It is I am hoping to. This also is used to describe future plans that you wish to do. However, in this case, the plans are not 100% definite that you will do these things. They are things that you want to do, that you plan to do, but there is some chance that you will not be able to do the things that you want. And so you say, I am hoping to do these things in the future. And that is what the Korean part of the slide is explaining, that they are not 100% definite. So here we have 2 examples at the bottom of the slide. I am hoping to save enough money to buy a car. I am hoping to learn how to play the piano this year. We say that this is not 100% definite because, for example, you want to buy a car, but perhaps you will not have enough money after a certain time to buy the car, and maybe you won't be able to buy it when you want. Or, for example, you want to learn how to play the piano this year, but it may take you longer. So there's a chance that you cannot learn to play in just 1 year. In this case, we use an expression like, I am hoping to do something. You want to do it, you plan to do it, but there's a chance that you will not be able to do it in the time that you want or the situation that you are in. So in this case, you may use an expression like, I am hoping to do something in the future. All right, let's go to the next expression. The next expression is used to form a question in the past. And that is the words, did you? So for example, at the beginning of a question, you can ask someone, for example, did you do anything fun last weekend? Or another example, how did you solve this math question? Or, when did you visit the USA? These are past questions, questions from the past, that are introduced using this phrase, did you? And they can be used to form questions to gain personal information. Okay, let's go to the next slide. The next slide is a different phrase. It's called would you. And would you is used to ask a question or also can be used to make a request. And the Korean part of the slide tells you what a request is. A request is when you ask someone for something, that you ask them to do something for you, for example, or you want something. That is a request. So here we have some example sentences. Number 1, would you like a cup of coffee? Number 2, would you help me with my homework? Number 3, would you like to go to the movies today? Now there's a difference between number 2 and numbers 1 and 3. And that difference in it. And in the next slide, I ask you, how is would you being used differently in number 2 compared to number 1 and number 3? Well, here is the answer to the question. Number 1, would you like a cup of coffee? That is a question. And number 3, would you like to go to the movies today? That is also a question. What is number 2? Would you help me with my homework? Is number 2 a question? And the answer is no, number 2 is not a question. So we can click on this hand. Anywhere that you see a hand with a button in the PowerPoint is where you can click to get an answer. Now, on this, it tells you that number 1 and number 3 are questions, but number 2 is a request. You are asking for something. Would you help me with my homework? So this phrase, would you, can be used to ask a question, but it can also be used to make a request. Okay, now let's go to the next slide. The next slide brings us to part 2 of the PowerPoint, which is the second section of the listen and speak part of the chapter. There are some additional expressions in here. One of them is to express when you are very excited about something that is going to happen in the future. And that expression is, I can't wait. I can't wait to do something. Or, I can't wait for something. And it's when you are excited and you really want to do something that is going to happen in the future. So for example, I can't wait for the new soccer season to start. Or, I can't wait to visit New York City with my family. So these are things that you seem to be very excited about, that you want to come quickly, and you really want these events to happen, so you say something like, I can't wait for this to happen. Now let's look at another expression which is similar to I can't wait, but it is a little bit different. That expression is I look forward to. I look forward to something is similar to I can't wait. However, there isn't quite as much excitement when you say I look forward to doing something. You are happy to do something in the future. You want to do something in the future. However, it does not give us the same level of excitement as a phrase like I can't wait for something to happen. So in this case, I look forward to means you want it to happen, you want something to come soon, but it's not the same level of excitement as you would use if you had a sentence like I can't wait. So here are some examples of I look forward to. I look forward to watching the next Marvel movie. I look forward to visiting the new Starbucks soon. So these are events that you want to happen, but like I said, there isn't quite as much excitement in this sentence as there is in a sentence like I can't wait to go to New York City with my family. Okay, let's go to the next slide. I bring this point up because this is Konglish, which is a little bit incorrect, but I hear it in Korea very, very often. People in Korea often say, I expect something, and that is incorrect. They mean, I really want something to come. I am waiting for something to happen in the future, and I want it to come soon. What they should really say is, I look forward to something. So instead of I expect something, which is incorrect, they should say, I am looking forward to something in the future. For example, I look forward to visiting a water park in July. I look forward to seeing BTS perform in Busan. So you want these things to happen, and the correct way of saying it is, I look forward to it. Or, I can't wait for this to happen. Okay. Expression, we're almost finished. There's another couple of expressions and then we are finished. So this one is, we should, or I should, do something. The word should is used to say that something is the correct, or the best, or the most proper way of doing something, of acting. If there are different options, you have to choose the best option. Well, people say, well, you should do something. Okay, so we have some examples here. We should try to recycle to help save the environment. That is the best option. We should do this because it's the best thing to do. Or, I should exercise regularly to maintain good health. This is what I should do to have good health. It's the best choice. It is what I should do. It is the best way of acting. If there are different ways of acting, well, that's the best way of acting. So we say, I should do something. Okay? Next is another phrase, I would, or I could, or we could. Now, could is a little different from should. Could is describing different possible ways of acting or behaving. There are different options, and you can choose the best option that you think is the right one for you, but there are different options. There are different possible ways of acting. For example, I could exercise more and eat less to lose weight. Or we could take a taxi instead of a bus to arrive sooner. There are different options and there are different possible ways of doing something, and you have to choose the one that you think is best. So we would use an expression like, well, we could do something. Okay, and that expression is not in your book, as you can see from the number 1 at the top of the slide. All right, now we're at the last part of the PowerPoint. This is where you will do some work related to the expressions from the chapter. Now, I'm not going to show you all of the answers. They're at gmail.com. And I hope that this lesson has been helpful to you, and I look forward to listening to your audio file when you send it to me. When you send me your file, please put your name, say your name and your class number in the file at the beginning, and also put your name on the file with your class number as a label, as a name for the file when you send it to me. Thank you, and I hope to have another lesson with you soon. If you have any questions, please just send me an email and I'll try to answer your questions through email. Have a good day. Thank you. Bye for now. First one, let's do this as an example. I am going to do something this afternoon. You can see from the picture that he is hitting a baseball. So what is this sentence? I am going to play baseball this afternoon. Now, that is the answer. If you want to see the answer, you can click on this hand and it shows you the answer. I am going to play baseball this afternoon. I want you to try to make the answer yourself first, and then look at the correct answer, and then say the correct answer out loud and record your voice as you say the correct answer into the audio file. And do that for each one. Now, this is the first kind of question. There's also a second type of question where you have to put the words in order to make either a question or a sentence, using the words that are on the slide, putting them in order, and using the chapter expression which is contained in the sentence on the slide. So there are 6 sentences that you have to complete like this, and there are 4 sentences that require you to put the words in order. Please complete all 10 sentences one at a time, look at the correct answers, and then say each correct answer and record your voice in the audio file, and then send that to my email, which is frankking. Here is an example that I will, let's go back